Now, we all know how busy doctors are at the moment, and it seems that their work doesn't always stop when they leave work. It was certainly true for a doctor from University Hospitals Birmingham, because he saved a man's life twice when he collapsed during a 10-hour flight to India. Dr. Raj Vimala, a liver specialist, was heading away with his mum on a flight to India. And as you can see from this photograph, they're all smiles at this point.
Yes, but then the call went out to see if there was a doctor on board. He quickly got involved, gave CPR, administered the limited amount of medicine on board, and improvised using medical equipment borrowed from passengers to monitor oxygen levels and blood pressure. The pilot performed an emergency landing with just 20 minutes of oxygen supply for the patient left. Dr. Verma spoke to Rajiv Popat.
Immediately got up, went to attend for this guy who had completely collapsed. He didn't have a pulse, he didn't have blood pressure, was completely pale and was not responding at all. I was like taken aback for a second, gathered my thoughts immediately, and then just went into probably a hospital mode, I should say, to resuscitate this patient. He started coming around, his blood pressure started picking up, his pulse started picking up. He was speaking to me, suddenly slumped. This is the second time that he actually completely lost his pulse, blood pressure, and this time he was not responding at all. We had to give quite a lot of medications for him. His blood sugar was a bit low. I had to get the blood sugar up. Certain improvisation that we did because although we had medications on board, we didn't have any equipment to monitor this individual. So we just announced on the speakers, and one of them got his watch, which had the rhythm, which you could connect to the computer. Another gentleman gave us his pulse oximeter. When the ground team came in and asked him, they said, "No, I'm absolutely fine." Mind you, by this time he's 5 hours on the floor. And I spoke to him and I said, "Look, it's so important that they see you safe and sound." And then he agreed to go in and have this checked up.
That's amazing, isn't it? That is drama in disguise, isn't it? And fantastic that the other patients were able to help have the technology on board. It was really good. And we are delighted to say that the patient is doing well. He spent the new year back at home with his family. Hopefully he's on the mend, so all good there. But Dr. Raj, this is a lovely bit of the story. He told us that it was the first time his proud mum had seen him actually doing his job.
That is great. Apparently she was worried because he did 5 hours of work there with no food. That's typical mum, isn't it? And worrying he hasn't eaten.
Bet she fed him up as well.
Right, Des joins us. I tell you what, we've had a lot of rain, people worrying about floods. It's a difficult time, actually.
No, you're absolutely right, but very quickly.